What is wrong with you?
Paparazzi.
There are no paps.
As a Hindu, he believes कि अगर पत्नी अपने पति के पैर छूती है रोज सुबह तो बहुत लक्ष्मी आती है.
This probably has to be the most fake, scripted, and nothing burger of a reality show I have ever seen on any streaming platform. The lack of given by the streaming platform is absolutely insane to me, making me realize that even the art of reality TV, yes, there is an art to it, is going away because Netflix knows that when someone comes back home from a hard day's work, they want to be fed slop. And here we are talking about possibly the most tone deaf and fake reality show available on the internet right now. I am a reality TV show fiend. Every millennial in the comment section will attest to the fact that before we had options to doom scroll on Instagram or even watch our favorite YouTubers, we had MTV, which had the likes of Raghu and Rajiv absolutely cursing at contestants for our entertainment. We have been subject to the wild, wild west days of reality television, where men were given literal tasks of slapping girls. Couples would want to expose their cheating partner with the most creative insults.
He's a bitch of a son.
And dating shows would have profanity even more intense than an Anurag Kashyap movie. Over a period of time, however, as the avenues of entertainment have increased and diversified, the irrelevance of MTV as a channel became a harsh reality for us millennials. It transitioned from a music prominent TV channel with the coolest of hosts we called VJs to a mostly reality TV show home to some of the most crass content. Now with Netflix doing insane numbers with their reality TV shows, Jio Hotstar also realized the crazy engagement that the reality slop guarantees and picked up Viacom 18 properties and housed them on their streaming platforms. Splitsvilla, Roadies and Big Boss are just some of them. Splitsvilla became one of the most talked about shows this year, with several contestants garnering millions of views on the internet and developing one of the most active parasocial relationships I have ever seen with an audience. You literally have audiences watching the show, then tuning into the individual handles of the contestants on social media to say what they think about the edit of the show, cursing at other contestants, and this concoction of a reality TV show and in real time getting thoughts from contestants who clearly signed no NDA other than revealing spoilers has created such wild engagement for the show that these contestants are clocking in more views than interactions with mainstream celebrities. Reportedly, the finale clocked in 75 million votes for the winners, absolutely crazy numbers if you think about it. I think it was important for me to preface this all to you to not only establish that I am a Splitsvilla Paglu too and can do an entire thesis on this season and several of the personalities associated with it, but also to remind you why Netflix also keeps on consistently investing in slop. It's because people come in hordes to tune in. Whenever I sit with my family in a dining table, my sister-in-law and my brother ask me what they should watch. I recommend some extremely compelling titles or hidden gems available on streaming. And when I ask them what they thought about my recommendation, they circle back to me by confessing that they just binged on the weekend episodes of Splitsvilla or right now Desi Bling. This is what I have become very aware of, that when most people come from their highly stressful jobs back home, they do like to switch off their brains and engage with some kaleshi mindless content versus something that is heavy or a reminder of the dire state we are in as a society or a country. Dubai Bling is one of the most popular properties of Netflix that is carried on for multiple seasons since 2022, and Netflix thought, why not shed light on other Indians in Dubai while keeping the access that binds them together? Two actors from India, Karan Kundra and Tejasvi Prakash, who presumably want to start their new lives in Dubai. How and why are they going there? What are the business opportunities they want to explore there is not clear. They are just going there. Other than one episode where Tejasvi Prakash puts in the lowest effort to pitch that she may be launching a restaurant in Dubai, there is literally no information on what Karan Kundra wants to do in Dubai. This show is absolutely one of the most poorly designed and produced shows I have ever seen because you don't understand the point of Karan and Tejasvi even going to Dubai. They meet a few influential people that includes the Sanpal family that have a huge trading company, a man called Duty who does several businesses, the Danube property father and son, a socialite called Pamela, and twins who have a skin clinic.
Plastic is fantastic.
The point is that Karan and Tejasvi land up in Dubai and build connections with these set of people who themselves are not well versed with each other. It's the most odd set of people who by Netflix are told to share the same space together and have the most awkward and tone deaf conversations with each other. Karan Kundra introduces himself as the highest paid TV actor in the country, and the man has been working for a long time. I'll give him that. I mean, ever since I've been in school, I remember first seeing him host a Channel V show called Gumrah, and that's consistent work for over, 15 years. So I'm sure he gets paid well, but to term himself as the highest paid actor on Indian television may be a stretch. I mean, the likes of Rupali Ganguly and Harshad Chopra are no joke. They are first presented in this private plane, and I feel like they shot literally while the plane was parked at the airport. Fully decked and glammed up, the most staged private plane you can ever find, as cyber trucks wait for them and they sit in a Rolls Royce later. The Sanpal duo are presented with the wife Binda, the most odd and interesting character from the show. Every act of her subservience or even the service towards the husband reeks of just wanting to be seen and acknowledged as a human. It's rather sad, especially when surrounded by such opulence and wealth. They rave about decking their child on her 1-year birthday with gold all over and gifting the 1-year-old a pink Rolls Royce. The show and the conversations are plastered with name brand tacky clothes, and I wonder whether there is a correlation between an increase in wealth and how it progressively makes you lose touch of basic styling. I'm not kidding, the people on this show are dressed up like extras from the Hunger Games. Some of the styling is so tacky, and I'm sure it is worth thousands of dollars, but everything looks so bad. Am I just poor that I don't understand these gaudy outfits? Because everyone looked like they are creatures in a sci-fi film. The poor production and pointlessness of this show is so jarring that they introduce these twins, who by the way are the most entertaining element of the show, and they place a goat in a Louis Vuitton bag outside their skin clinic to allude to a secret admirer wanting to go out with one of the twins. The goat is forgotten about immediately after, as it poos and pees in their house. The reason for placing the goat is just unnecessary and so staged that it makes me wonder who is the person in the writing room setting up these scenes. There is definitely a caviar sponsorship floating around in this show, because the cast leaves no stone unturned in chomping on some caviar and making their dogs eat it too. Sanpal's wife keeps on talking about wanting to provide another child to her husband, and it genuinely made me sad, because a lot of what she seeks for or communicates in the show is for the purpose of being acknowledged by her husband, assuming that the solution of the distance in their marriage is a child, and I just felt icky about that element of the show. The 7 episodes of the show are essentially designed in such a way that each group gets to host a party, and by the way, what becomes very obvious with these events are that they are not planned by the cast members, but it is the Netflix team that essentially creates a set, the most tacky, colorful set by the way, and a long table where the cast members do some kalesh and the party is over. Other than the Sanpal family that actually planned an event, the rest of the parties are just designed so that the cast can interact with each other, and hopefully the production can get some drama in the midst of them simply talking to each other. Danube Properties का full marketing हुआ है यहाँ पर. If I were to commend one thing, however, the couple associated with Danube Properties is possibly the only sane one in the cast. And you know why? Well, because I think they respect each other, and that's why they have a happy marriage. Anyway, the consistent theme of the show is that the men keep on partying with women. Binda, Sanpal's wife, communicates that it's okay if the women keep on changing in the parties, but it does become a point of concern when it's the same one appearing everywhere. It just tells me the sad reality of how clear red flag behavior gets normalized in marriages when you are dependent on the partner for a certain lifestyle. You start ignoring such acts because you shudder at the very thought that you would have to fend for yourself if you part ways with them. The series is the clear case of what you see in old Indian parties where the sexes get segregated. The men bitch about their wives and the uncle jokes continue, and the women gossip about everyone. The integration of celebrity cameos is absolutely random, and the cast of the show always claim to be best friends with the celebrities. You have everyone from Stebin Ben, Tamanna, Shilpa Shetty, Tiger Shroff, Ranveer Brar, Sania Mirza appear, but they have absolutely nothing to contribute and have the most awkward conversations with the cast and leave.
आपकी body देखते रहते हैं हम. अच्छा, thank you so much.
There is a couple where the husband and wife are on the verge of divorce, and they keep on arguing because one assumes the other lies and the other accuses her of being immature, and we get iconic lines like, "If shit is smelling, better don't touch it." The couple organizes a Father's Day event where everyone gives an emotional speech on the roles of their fathers in their life, and it's the most random sequence ever. The level of disinterest Ranveer Brar shows in his episode while he is calmly cooking for the women was hilarious. There is also an astrologer in this series, Janvi, who gets randomly introduced this season, and she was in Traitors too, and she has the ability to get on your nerves from the first episode, getting easily offended at the slightest moment of banter, and she got on so many people's nerves, I remember, on Traitors, that even when the contestants knew that she was innocent, innocent. They wanted to get rid of her just so that they can get rid of the headache of dealing with her. She definitely has some deal with streaming platforms because over here too, she passes judgment, does her aura readings, causes Kalesh with supreme confidence and just moves on. At least some of the spa day yoga poses were funny, but my god, I just have to repeat myself, the outfits are hideous. What's funny is that the Netflix production is of course going to be excessive with the whole crew, lighting, and when they showcase scenes in their bedrooms, I find it so hilarious that the cast members have to act surprised about people entering the room as if it wasn't the point of the reality show. It's so structured, so performative that none of the conversations seem real. There is a scene where Karan is playing mini golf and Duty appears, and I wondered, do the makers really believe that we think that Karan was randomly playing mini golf here? It's also very clear that Netflix's production team feeds them topics that are important to discuss and then cue Kalesh. The problem being that because most of them are not great friends or that close with each other, the topics of Kalesh are nothing burgers. It's just she approached my boyfriend a few years ago, she bitched about me. It's absolutely making a mountain out of a molehill because episodes need some drama. Karan keeps on communicating on how he is feeling suffocated, on how he is babysitting Tejasvi all the time, and it's the most forced drama you will ever see. I genuinely came to the conclusion that not even a single portion of the show seemed authentic or real. ऊपर की बातें होते रहती हैं बस. And we never get into the crux of what may be causing a wedge in their love life. More importantly, we don't even come to the conclusion of why Karan Kundra is in Dubai in the first place, other than the fact that he booked apartments with Danube Properties. These twins, by the way, are the best part of the show, especially Layli, absolute firecracker and ideal for reality TV. Tejasvi Prakash finds it tough to assimilate with the group, but I found it absolutely hilarious that she ends up crying on the fact that people don't trust her. She just met these people a few days ago, and I think it reminds me of Splitsvilla where contestants start saying things like, "वो मेरा पहला दिन से भाई है, अरे भाई तू परसों ही आया है, वो डे वन से मेरे साथ है, अरे भाई तू 2 दिन पहले आया था." Binda keeps on telling her husband not to party anymore. Pamela keeps on doing Kalesh with one of the twins, and hilariously, Tejasvi keeps on calling her Pammi because it annoys her. Found that very funny. Full rage bait mode she's in. Pamela reminds me of Lilette Dubé from Kal Ho Na Ho, by the way. The similarities are uncanny. I'm sorry, but a lot of the men on this show reek of misogyny. They don't want to change their partying ways. They keep on complaining about feeling claustrophobic in their marriage, and they blame the women for not doing enough introspection. One of the dudes keeps on telling the girl to go to therapy, but there is not an iota of self-reflection from his side. The tarot card or aura reader integration is so forced that it almost seems like the Netflix team legally had to make sure that she gets screen time in this show. Karan and Tejasvi organize a Hindi movie themed lunch and everyone dresses up as characters, and Tejasvi of course dresses up as Sri Devi from Hava Hawaii, but she on the VD tells the Netflix team that her outfit is inspired by Hema Malini. I came to the conclusion that the level of detailing is so bad on the show that the cast members don't even know what they are wearing. Tejasvi and Karan have the most orchestrated fake fight where Karan rage quits in the funniest way possible, and I genuinely burst out laughing. Vivek Oberoi randomly appears, does 1 or 2 dialogues of "business is booming, Dubai is good," dances and leaves. I really wondered who has thought of these cameos and how were they convinced in the first place. There are dance numbers where it's very clear that the choreography has been left last minute. It just feels like Netflix got a budget and just made some on the spot with little to no care of how it turns out. They have of course copyright restrictions with the music, so you get cringy renditions like "come into the room, boom boom, bewafa, oh she's a liar, she likes the drama, bada bing bada boom." You get these English gibberish songs because they can't get the rights of the real music. By the end of the show, I concluded that Tejasvi Prakash was possibly the only sane person on the show who had a very practical stance on men gallivanting while their partners are at home, and everyone else was just tripping in their own delusional world, pretending to be happy under the guise of luxury. Pamela introduces an ex who is a Punjabi with a Bradford accent and who forms English sentences like Khabib from the UFC. She hosts her birthday with cutouts of herself, and it's the most narcissistic display of wealth and opulence that just makes me cringe. Binda is constantly worried that her husband's business will be taken over by her sons from a previous marriage, and she straight up interjects and says no in a meeting when the kid is asked whether he will be joining the business or taking it over. It's kind of scary. The planning at these parties is so bad that they almost had a fire catastrophe happen on set. Another beautiful quote by one of the cast members on her observations of a birthday party were, "Unless you make the person eat the cake, party is not done. This tradition is what all Indians do." That's what everyone does, bhai. Caviar khate rehte hain ye log, and the celebrities make their cameos and disappear. Tejasvi, who has just met these people, communicates to them that she may leave and go back to India, and one of the twins, Lely, says, no, don't go. In the most unenthusiastic manner because she just met her, man. Why would she have an emotional reaction? But it's presented as this dramatic move that people just don't care about. Sania Mirza comes, paddle khelti hai aur bhag jati hai. Thoughts are not allowed to formulate in conversations here. It's just people in circles saying, yeah, yep, exactly, bilkul, bilkul. And Binda ji on her own tangent tells Karan Kundra not to marry Tejasvi. While the dude is proposing, she is saying, I hope she says no, while they are having that moment together. Everything is set up for Karan to propose to Tejasvi in the most impersonal setup possible, with the most god-awful clothes I have ever seen. I really want to ask, is this luxury because it looks hideous? I felt for Tejasvi because she was melting in the Dubai heat while he was proposing to her, and in the background the Kalesh was still carrying on, someone bitching about someone else. And I ended this 7-episode nothing burger of a series and wondered, how did they budget this? How did they formulate this? And genuinely, why were the outfits so tacky and hideous? And most importantly, why did Karan Kundra and Tejasvi Prakash, actively working actors in Mumbai, even go to Dubai in the first place? And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below what you thought about Desi Bling. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The handles are right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.